So I want to talk briefly about the difference between a conventional system, which would include a 1,000-gallon tank and ladder line fields, and an aerobic system, which is a 1-tank, 3-chambered system with sprinkler heads. So the difference really between the two is you got clay or you don't have clay. It's really that simple. So most of the areas that I work in northeast Oklahoma, which is where I'm from, there is lots of clay and lots of rock. Nobody's forcing. I keep hearing people say, well, they're just making people go to more of these aerobics. It's actually better for the homeowner, because what happens is when we have heavy spring rains and flash flooding, especially if it goes back-to-back days, and you live in an area that has heavy clay, and I were to put in a conventional system with chambers or ladder line field, the ground becomes so saturated. And what that means is when it can't percolate or it won't percolate, it means that the water will not get sucked into the ground, is the best way I know to say it. So it's just like that whenever you see a puddle in the yard that you can't get rid of, the ground is either so saturated, it's a combination of two things. The ground is so saturated, and there's also a combination of clay, lots of clay. Water cannot percolate through clay. It's also one of the reasons we have lots of foundation problems in our homes. Lots of clay, and clay contracts and swells. Sandy loam does not do that. So when you have good sandy loam soil, that's where a ladder line field, or I use chambers, which is a new modernized version of a ladder line field. It's still considered a ladder line field. It's not pipe and gravel, it's just chambers. They're made out of polyplastic, and they last a lot longer. There's a lot more volume capacity in them over the lifetime of the system. But bottom line is it starts and ends with clay. And I'm not choosing to tell you which one you need. The state of Oklahoma is the one that determines that based on a soil profile or a percolation test. And if you don't want to do either one of those tests, you can choose to skip it and just put an aerobic in. There's nothing that stops us from putting an aerobic in. On my part, I got to fill out one additional form to make that happen. But normally when you do get a soil test, it costs you anywhere from $250 to $350 is about roughly what they run. So I hope this little bit of information helps you understand better why some people get ladder line fields and some people get aerobics, is because your ground will not percolate. It will not take the water, meaning it will not absorb the water. I live where it won't absorb the water. I have too much clay here. Most places in Oklahoma, it's too much clay and too much rock. I'd say, at least in northeast Oklahoma, I would say that's probably 70% of the whole area of northeast Oklahoma is going to be an aerobic moving forward, not a ladder line field. So I hope this helps, and thanks for watching.